afternoon, Professor. Good afternoon, my college student. How are you? Good. Okay. First of all, I will begin my topic of my thesis. The title is "The Willingness to Pay for Visitors to Urban Parks." Case study in the urban park of Lapangan Merdeka, Pematang Siantar City, Indonesia. This is my hometown. This is my icon of my hometown. This is public transportation. This is the contents of my thesis, the presentation, the introduction until the conclusion and recommendation. So, the introduction is, as we know, the climate change now happen in the world. So every country in the world feel problem with the climate change. Usually because of the economic activities, especially in the city. As this is the picture that we can see the effect of the climate change, dry and etc. So we need solution. The solution is urban park. So in urban park, we need also public participation. So because the urban park usually used by the people, by the visitors, so we need them public participation. For example, is in the urban park of the Lapangan Merdeka in Pematang Siantar City. People in this picture we can see usually do this is walking on the stone to reduce the disease. This is jogging or enjoying. This is aerobic for the woman. So this research is very important. Especially we can estimate the visitors' willingness to pay for environmental issue. What is urban park? Urban park is a form of urban forest or garden according to the Dijamin 1992, and non-natural green space because there is a made by the human or the government according to the Joga and Ismail. And what is CPM? CPM is contingent valuation method. It's the most common method to determine a monetary price on environmental resource. For example, is urban forest, urban parks. So if we do CPM, we can know the monetary price of the parks. So in this research question on objective is I have three objectives. The first is to estimate visitors' willingness to pay. The second is to analyze factor influencing willingness to pay. And the third is to identify the perception of visitors in urban park of Lapangan Merdeka, Pematang Siantar City. This is now we go to the methodology. This is the picture when I do interview. This is coding in my home. This is also interview. So location is in the North Sumatra province, Pematang Siantar City. The area of the park is about 1.5 hectare. So this is Pematang Siantar City, close to the Singapore and Malaysia and Thailand. And this is the detail of the map of the park. We can see in this picture. There is park, toilet, and there is also many places. I will show in the next slide. So the methodology that I use is I use non-probability sampling. The respondent is about 300 respondents according to the sloping formula, and I need primary data by doing the direct interview to know the CPM or willingness to pay, and secondary data to support my result or thesis from literature and etc. And the survey construction in here divided by the socio-economic information, for example, is age and income and etc. And I use initial bid from the previous research according to the Simamora 2014. And in here there is 4 possible responses from the visitor or the respondent. The first is yes and yes. The second is yes and no. The third is no and yes, and the fourth is no and no. So I will give them bid, and then the respondent will answer this. If they say yes, we go to the upper. If they say no, we go to the lower. So to know the perception, I adopted also the previous research. We will know the perception according to the 4 assignment categories and 5 indicators. So in here also, the model used double bonded dichotomous choice format with a block payment question, according to the researcher from the I think from Latin. So in here there are 6 bits. The first bit is bid the respondent with the 2,500 rupiah until to 6 bit. So the highest is 15,000 rupiah. Why I make 6 bit to avoid the bias? According to the previous research, it's already include lower and upper. So in here I do analyze qualitative and quantitative, and I use Microsoft Excel Stata S11 to know the visitors' willingness to pay and influencing factors, and also SPSS for descriptive statistic and frequency of respondent, and to know the perception. Now we go to the result and discussion. According to the result of this study, the age of the respondent majority is from 11 to 20 years old. Why? That's why in here the majority to enjoy the park is from high school, and majority is a student. And the second is from 21 until 30 years old. If we go to the education level, majority also 48% is from college. And the second is from senior high school. And the third is from the elementary high school. According to the gender, I try to make equal. Male is 47% and female is 53%. According to the length of stay per years, is majority is less than 5 years is 39%, and then 60 to 25 years is 30%. And according to the income level also, the respondent, their income is less than 1,800,000 rupiah, or about 150,000 won. Why? Because the majority of the respondent in here is students and from high school or college. And according to the visit frequency times per month, we can see here the respondent usually enjoy the park is more than 4 times per month. And the second is 1 times per month, about 21%. According to the size of household, the majority is 0 to 1 people. The second is 2 until 3 people. So to answer the first objective of my study is the willingness to pay of the park, how much? According to the Stata result, is the willingness to pay of the urban park of Lapangan Merdeka is about 12,684.77 rupiah, or equivalent to 0.84 US dollar. So I try to searching another research. In Malaysia, the mean willingness to pay per person per visit is 1.76 to 3.84. It means that was higher than urban park of Lapangan Merdeka. Why? Because in Malaysia, the monthly income is higher than in the Pematang Siantar City. It's according to the Camry 2013. And also I try to compare to the previous research. According to the Simamura 2014, the willingness to pay is about 5,681.82, or 0.37 US dollar. Is lower than Pematang Siantar. Why? Because there is specific reason in Pematang Siantar City is the location of the urban park is very strategic because close to everywhere, and also majority of the public transportation pass this park, and also it means that downtown of the Pematang Siantar City, usually people go there to enjoy the park, and then they go to shopping, especially for the women they can shopping, and also for students they can discussing the discussion there. So the willingness to pay with explanatory variables in this study, we have 10 variables from length of stay, age until cool. So the willingness to pay with explanatory variables is 8,659, or equivalent to 0.59 US dollar. So according to the Song et al. In China, the willingness to pay is higher than in my research, because the monthly income also in China is more higher. We compare to Korea. Ko et al. 2013 also find in their research is their willingness to pay is 0.98 US dollar. So this is in the urban forest in South Korea. So it's also higher. And also Kim 2012 in the Republic of Korea, they have a willingness to pay is high regarding to the national urban parks. And also in Malaysia also, their willingness to pay also is higher than Pematang Siantar, start from 0.84 $8.78 to 9.6 per visit in Malaysia. Why? Because the facility in the urban park is good. So the willingness to pay per visit in Malaysia and Korea compared to urban park of the Pematang Selatan is higher. Why? Because their facility is more developed. And also in India also is very high. So according to the willingness to pay with explanatory variable, I got equation or formula. So the formula is like in this slide. The second, to answer my second objective or purpose is to know influencing factor. From the 10 variable, we got H. H is the significant. H significant under 0.03. So it means that H of the respondent influence the willingness to pay of the visitors. So there is a positive impact. So the more the H, the more willingness to pay. So this is also similar or same with another research like town 2016 in Myanmar. She also find H also significant. And also according to the K 2015 book or theory, H also important factor. And also according to the Serena et al. 2017, H visit frequency also positive influence. So Hong et al. 2018, H, sex and access mode also significant. And also Kim and Jang 2018, income and age also significant to the willingness to pay. And also Serepoglu in Ankara, Turkey, young age also significant to willingness to pay. It means that there's many justification or support my result. But there's also different. According to the Ko et al., age not significant, but young generation support willingness to pay. And also the previous research, income and age did not significant. So in this case, many justifications support my result. Age is significant or very important factor to willingness to pay of the visitors. How about the perception? According to the perception of the fourth variable, beauty is normal. As we can see the park in the picture, I will show you the picture. The beauty is good. That's why people enjoy the park. And also the coolness. So the park is cool because shading area of the tree. So people usually do their activity for relaxing, exercise, especially for the young generation, for the couple, they enjoy the shading area. It's also similar to the previous research. But the problem in here is about the cleanness. Still, we can, when I do research there are a lot of garbage was still found. Why? Because the awareness of the people is still low. Although they have many employees there, but the awareness of the people is still low. And also the comfortable of the park is wireless complete. Why? Because the toilet just only one, and also singing beggar. You know singing beggar? Someone who sing in front of you and you give money. Especially the young generation, they force the young generation to give them money. So there is like a criminal activity there. And also the flower is not varied. Why? Because when the government try to plant, and then the visitor take it or steal the flowers. But and then the last is the respondent satisfaction. In this case, the people enjoy this park 57% and unsatisfied about 43%. Nowadays, the park already good, not like the previous. The previous is very bad now. We can see the picture later. So in this research, I make a conclusion and recommendation. The visitor's willingness to pay without control variable is about 12,684.77 rupiah, or equivalent to $0.84, and with control variable is about 8,659.02, or equivalent to $0.57. And the second is to answer the goals number 2. The factor influencing willingness to pay is people's age. And the third is the perception of beauty is normal, and also the coolness is normal, but the cleanness and the comfortable is still have a problem. So the recommendation according to the conclusion is the demand of the urban park in Pematang Siantar city should be added. Why? Because according to the willingness to pay visitors is higher. So the government should think to develop another urban park in another agency or place. And the second is, if the government should they want to develop a new urban park, they should think about the people's age. It's very important because according to the research, age is very important or significant to the willingness to pay. The second is the current condition of the urban park should be improved, especially in the comfortable, cleanness, beauty, and coolness, because although the respondent feels satisfied. This is the picture when I do the direct interview. This is the high school. I go there and then to ask them about the questionnaire. And this is also my friend helped me to ask the high school. And this is my wife also helped me. Yeah, there's the cooperation, like the small little principle, cooperation. This is also I do a direct interview. And then I went after I got the questionnaire. I do coding in my home. This is the condition of the park. Still garbage. I don't know why, because maybe awareness. And the second also, the condition of the flower is not too much, not like in here. There's so many types of the flower. And this is also the plant. We can see the plant. There is like a gate. And this is the condition of the shading area is still good. And this is the coolness is still good. And this is also we can see the people enjoy the park. And this is also close to the main library in Pematang Siantar City, and also close to the office of mayor of Pematang Siantar City. And we can see all of the age of the in the park enjoy this park, like kids, I think less than 6 years old. This also they enjoy. This very popular in my city because they believe that the stone can reduce their disease, especially heart disease and others. This also for women. So if women want to aerobic, they can come to here every day. They have aerobic at 3 p.m. This also the area near the hotel, near the office of mayor. This is the icon. I think this is my presentation. Thank you very much. If any question.
Thank you for your presentation. Very, very impressive. Actually, WTP is very a typical research theme of socio-economic work area. It's very interesting, and special, in particular, your hometown and your home countries. It's very, very impressive data. So first of all, we got some questions from the to your supervisor professors, the group, and then we can give you some chance to audience. Okay. So questions. Maybe you can.
Well, I've read your bid many times. But two questions. Actually, the site 1.1 hectare is not too big enough. 1. Right, and also you use a non-sampling, non-power sampling. What do you mean the non-power sampling? Non-power sampling. That's because also you compare the other papers that that respondent about more than 80% is less than 30, right? Only young people. Right? The others like Korea or the others probably older than your site, probably the respondent. I'm not arguing, but also when you present result, either table or figures, not both. One of them is enough. I mentioned many times, but still we have present age distribution, figures, and also table. So please, why do non-sampling, non-power sampling, and also that another one is how to measure the coolness.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. I will answer the question number 1. What is non-probability sampling? In this case, in this research, all of the respondents have probability to be a respondent because my focus is the visitors in the park. So every day I visit the park and I saw the visitors, and I will ask them how much willingness to pay you want. For example, he answered 2,000. Okay, I will take for example, the first questionnaire, the first bidding. then I make a question. How about 5,000? Agree. Okay. Now, how about lower than? So I will make non-probability sampling means all of the respondent is they have probability to be a respondent, especially in the visitors. And also the second suggestion is for the figure and table. Thank you, Professor. I already download last night, and maybe I will do correction to my new report. I already read and I already make table. If I choose table, I didn't make figure out. Thank you for the suggestion. And third is about coolness. In here, I will in my report there is a coolness there. There is a assessment and category 5 indicators. For example, the coolness is the temperature or what I will in my paper. They're already complete. Coolness, the criteria and indicator. Why we choose them coolness? There is a criteria number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. For example, for example this is for clean for coolness, for beauty, for comfortable. Like for comfortable, the facility was less complete. So we just score from 1, 2, 3, 4, and also the coolness, like the setting temperature, and also the cleanness focus to the garbage, and also the beauty to the according to our see or our experience. Comfortable also focus to our experience also. So facility and also our experience. Coolness is focused to the setting the temperature. Maybe in outside is 35 degree Celsius. In here maybe 27, 28. So I have criteria and indicator to explain the coolness.
coolness by temperature. In Korean, like 차분함. That's kinds of some mind, not temperature. Coolness. And also the non-probability sampling, that probability proportion to visitors A piece of visitors what? Because non-probability sampling, then what? And that probability proportion to what?
Probability sampling to the candidate of my respondent according to the 10
Respondent to what?
to estimate their willingness to pay and to know their influencing factor and to know their perception according to the variables.
I mean, like, because usually when you have a sampling size, probability proportion to size, that's not non-probability sampling. The big size, it can fishes. You can some because then if it big size and chance to more. That's we call it probability proportion to size. That's another non-probability sampling, but I'm not sure that using that.
And also about the area, why 1.5 hectare? This is the reality, Professor, because this is in the downtown. 1.5 hectare. The area is too small. That's why people more enjoy their.
Supervisors. So I think Professor Yuan is your supervisor, so that is the last one to ask about you. Thank you for your presentation. And actually, I have some question about the first theme is method, your research method. So maybe I'm not sure that you have a consent form about this survey, because maybe there are some very sensitive themes, sensitive questions for your, for example, the income or something like this. So maybe we have to secure the personal information of the respondents. Okay? But I cannot find your questionnaire. Maybe there are some consent form or your agreement of the respondents, something like that. Maybe next time you should have this kind of consent form. secure their personal information. Okay. The second one is respondents around 300 respondents in your target area is very nice number. But how about the response ratio? Response ratio. And for example, maybe you got 400 respondents, but maybe 100 of them are rejecting your question. Maybe I'm not sure about this. So how about the response ratio? How was the response ratio?
In this case, to avoid to do a safety question, I try to about 225. So and then I do coding. If the result is not clear,
I understand.
I will erase.
I
Sometimes
So
not clear.
75, say you drop some data and
Yeah.
you use 225 respondents among 300
Yeah.
respondents. Okay, understood.
Because sometimes error because
Yeah, right.
someone help
right,
me.
Right, understood.
I try to explain it.
Yeah. And qualitative, you mentioned the quantitative and qualitative research. So how about qualitative research? You prepare some questionnaire or you prepare some theme or how can you implement the qualitative research?
Qualitative research, I try to make a questionnaire. In this questionnaire, I will ask them like interview. So I have the key question.
Not a 5-scale questionnaire, but a interview. You mean?
Interview and also according to the questionnaire.
Correct. Now I understand.
So for example, like this, how much willingness to pay you pay? About this, why you didn't pay? If we reject, why you reject? Like this.
Yes, very
So
nice, very nice.
I
Yeah.
write it.
It's very nice. It's a kind of integrated
Yeah.
survey, right? It's very interesting. Good. So one more thing is, I'm wondering about the survey time and survey date and survey time. It's very different, the weekend and the working day. So, but I cannot find your so when did you implement your survey?
My survey time is when I go home. About
Yes, right.
September, October. Need
Of course.
2 weeks. I will make in my
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Strictly 2 weeks.
Yeah, because to do willingness to
Monday
pay
to
is
Sunday.
very important. It's very difficult also
Aha.
because you must explain
I know.
hypothetical market
I know.
to explain them why they want to pay. And also in my country about personal information like income. At first I do permit from the government.
Good.
So from the government they will give me a paper.
Mhm.
And then this is my tools to give to the respondent.
Mhm.
Sometimes the respondent is afraid. You are a slacker, you are a criminal, because maybe from my base like a criminal sometimes. So I will make them confidence. I'm a student.
Fine,
Yeah.
fine. Thank you. And how about the survey time?
Survey time I usually do from morning until 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Yeah,
6 p.m. is
from morning.
still okay.
Yeah, 6 p.m.
6 p.m. How about the working hour in Indonesia?
Working hour
9
Indonesia.
to 5 or 9 to
7:30.
From
No,
government
no,
usually
no.
start from 7:30 to 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
4 p.m. Okay, that's enough time. Okay, fine. And one more thing is about your respondents. So your questionnaire, your theme of your questionnaire is about WTP and some preference. So how about their preference and motivation to visit the urban park? Did you ask them to or?
Yeah, I asked them.
I couldn't find it. Maybe coolness, you mean coolness and beauty, right?
Yeah.
So they prefer, please. But normally, one of the basic questionnaire is preference, what you prefer to some facility or something like that, maintenance. And other one is motivation, why do you come to here, why, there are some reasons, specific reason.
In this questionnaire, I will try to make it, but when I do interview, I usually what I do in here,
Yes.
I
Yes.
ask them, but not include in my questionnaire.
Really?
Because just focus the willingness to pay and influencing factor, and also the perception.
Actually, I have also some question about the variables, the coolness, the third line, coolness. So, Professor Lee asked about what is coolness?
Yeah, coolness is I got from the previous research. The coolness in here, I have a criteria and indicator.
Relaxing exercise.
Coolness here, the first is very cool,
Very cool, okay.
and cool, and then normal.
You mean the temperature?
Yes, temperature.
Ah.
And less cool
Okay.
and not cool. If very cool is
So when I stand under the crown, under the tree crown, it's the
Shading,
word
shading.
shading.
Yeah, shading
Okay,
technique.
okay.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay,
So
right.
if
It's
they-
very nice motivation to visit Europa. I understand. Thank you. And one more thing is there are a specific program in target area. Maybe there are some outdoor education program or experience program or other in your target urban park there are some specific program for the participants.
Yeah, I have a specific program. Maybe if this is already finished, I will give this thesis to my mayor as a policy, to make a policy.
You plan.
You plan.
You suggest.
I make a summary. Yeah,
Okay, I
suggestion
understand.
because this is already in the contract.
But how about current status?
Status.
Current status.
Current status nowadays.
There are no work there are.
Nowadays, I
Yes.
think 2 weeks ago, they launched a new park.
Okay.
But park.
Maybe there are some festival or events or some exciting program. Not yet.
Not yet.
I understand.
Just only focus to the develop another park because.
Because it is very important for the attractiveness of urban park or outdoor recreation attractiveness. So I want to ask you about it. So last question is, what is improving urban park? It's actually one of your questionnaire is WTP to improving urban park, right? So what means improving urban park? Is it more about the facility or maintenance or program?
Improving, especially this paragraph, Professor. Like for example, the beauty. To improve the beauty, we make many flowers, not only one species.
Okay.
And also cleanness improvement is
maintenance.
they will make. I think it's better to make the CCTV to control them
Still
and
is more
also
about the security, right?
to increase the employee for the check the garbage and also education for the people
Education program.
to make them to be awareness.
Good.
And the second, the coolness also.
How
We,
can you improve the cool?
yeah, we can make
More trees?
the tree
Okay.
that deep shading area because according to the literature that I read, there are so many trees like ficus also good for the shading area. And also for the comfortable, I think we need police or security here.
Okay.
Yeah, security to make the visitor is comfortable. Yeah, especially the young generation, they are afraid there. There's many punk is type of the song. Their head is like that. And they always force the visitors. Please, please.
Understand.
So need CCTV improvement.
How about the water-based activity in urban park?
Water
Yeah, water-based activity.
in the park,
Do they prefer?
they prefer
water-based something?
fountain like fountain.
Fountain, yeah.
Fountain, but it's very small.
Okay.
But sometimes it's not function.
Ah, yeah, there are.
In here, close to here.
Mhm.
But it's not function.
How about do they prefer the fountain or water-based some activity? And Indonesian people, I mean.
Yeah, I agree with that, Professor.
Okay.
Maybe in Jakarta, they already make the fountain,
Uh-huh.
like in near our dormitory, they have a fountain like.
Good.
Swimming pool.
Fine. Thank you for your answer. And the last question is for your supervisor, Professor Yuhan Lee.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I want to make one comment and one question. One comment is associated with Professor Tomoli's question. Basically, he asked about why you use the non-probability sampling. I think you have to explain why. Basically, in social science, it's very hard to control people, right? That is the characteristics of the social science. But in your study, the main purpose is to study about people's attitude and also preference for urban parks, right? So you have to find a certain area, region that has a urban park, and also you have to find people who have some experiences on using urban parks, right? So maybe you can say that's why you have to use purposive sampling. Maybe that's why you prefer to choose non-provocative sampling, purposive sampling. So you have to explain the reason why you choose the purposive sampling. When it comes to the question, I would like to ask about the results from your regression. So in your regression analysis, you just show only age has positive and significant impact on the amount of willingness to pay. You may have to think about why, and also at the same time you have to think why income or education that are in general very significant in other studies are not significant in your study. I think this is also a very important part that you have to explain. What I guess is first, so age has positive and significant impact on the amount of willingness to pay. That means maybe the elders are willing to pay more because they are more demanding for urban parks. But also, some studies, in developing countries, ages are not significant, but education are significant because people are educated. That means they have more awareness on the importance of urban park. So you may explain about it, okay? And when for income, I think income is also a very important factor when people conduct a willingness to pay studies. But in your study, it's not significant. So I checked your survey, and there's a figure about income level. Do you have it here? Yeah, here. So I think based on this graph, you can explain why income level is not significant. Because here, when you look at the income level, most people has low level of income. That means there's no difference between people. Okay, so maybe that's why this factor is not significant in your study statistically. Okay, so again, this is very important for you to explain why you adopt these variables and why those variables are significant or not in your results. Maybe I made just 2 comments, but you may add some answers.
Thank you, Professor. According to the data collection, in here, the technique I use purposive sampling in the data collection, purposive sampling. And also, I want to answer about the income level. Why majority income level in this part is less than 1,600,000? Because this also correlated to the majority of the visitor there is student, Professor, especially because this location is very strategic. After school hour, people go to the park, and also we can see from the education level also still correlated, and also the age. So in the park, the young generation is enjoy more than the old generation. The old generation just only in the early morning until the 5 p.m. But from the night, day, and afternoon, majority is the young generation, student. And also this park is close to the university, close to the high school, close to the shopping area, and also the government administration office. Maybe I will add the suggestion to my.
Okay, I think you may misunderstand. Can you move to the next page? Okay, here. My point is here. the income level of respondents are lower than, mostly lower than 1,800,000 rupiah, right? That means, you know, the respondents have very low, maybe I can say low variance in income. So that's why maybe you know, statistically, you know, you did not have a significant variable on income. Okay? So I just want to point it, because income is in general, you know, these types of studies, income level is always, you know, very important. So I think you have to explain why this is not significant in your study.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. Maybe after your presentation, Atau, maybe today evening, maybe you can have your result